Saris would kind of take the lead and approach, and I guess like do a cordial and bow, walking forward.
Yeah, roll me perception checks, everybody. Saris, you're not necessarily really focused on the figures up ahead because you're more bowing, introducing yourself here, but kind of everyone else as you walk forward behind Saris, you notice these two figures, one a man, the other a woman. The man seems to be very, very old, almost sitting like a statue. Just very frail, very old, very long white beard and hair, balding on top, with his crown seeming to fit very heavy on his head as he's kind of slumped forward, eyes glazed over and white with cataracts. And kind of in contrast to him sits, a very poised woman, also older, silver and white hair with her crown made of soul gems. As you can kind of see, it kind of glows this brilliant kind of green, like a pale jade almost, in this place. And she sits on the throne, more poised, more upright, looking healthy in comparison to this male figure. And the woman looks down at you, Saris. Saris, it has been some time since you graced this hall. Hundreds of years, if I recall.
She kind of raises from her bow and nods. Yes, my queen, it has been some time.
Seems only but a moment ago that we were welcoming you into the city. And now I see that you have brought new visitors, new residents, perhaps.
The switch there, if that's how that goes, strikes Flannery as very non-temporary.
Indeed, they are newcomers. I found them out in the sands.
And would you vouch for them? Can you speak to their character?
I'm gonna hope that we don't lock eyes at this point.
Yeah, I know. Saris, like, she hesitates for a moment, but not necessarily in like a bad way. She kind of just thinks for a second about the first meeting and how it was a little bit of a rocky start, but she does nod once again, and they seem trustworthy and capable. Yes.
Well, we shall see, as she sits kind of more forward on the throne and looks down upon you all.
Might I introduce them?
I was just gonna say, I don't know. Does Saris know my name?
I was like, I actually only think I know Eliana. So I'm like, as I'm saying them, like, but I introduced that, and I realized that I actually don't know their names, and I was like, they may present themselves and introduce themselves. And I take a step back for them to introduce themselves.
Yeah. And that queen, she's sitting forward, interested here, and kind of smiling pleasantly. The king, if he's alive, you would not be able to perceive it. He is stoic, like a statue, just sitting there, in contrast to her movement. And well then, please, who graces my hall?
Flinder's gonna look right at Eliana.
my name is Eliana, and these are my lovely companions, Flinry and Toddleheim. And she like awkwardly bows, curtsies, and like ushers for them to do the same.
Henry's gonna
I'll
just
walk
do
forward.
the nod of the head, not a bow in the traditional sense.
Yeah.
And then
I'll
Eliana
walk
will
forward
say,
a little bit.
Sand sickness, Your Majesty.
Ah, I see. Well, allow me to introduce myself to you. I am your queen, Cantressa. This, my husband, your king, Quintol. As long as you reside in our city, you will abide by our laws.
And what are those?
Well, we don't really write them down too often, but use your best judgment.
That's cryptic and
Eliana looks at Toddleheim
Sus.
specifically, and it's like, do you have any ground rules that we could maybe hear of?
Well, I will say this. If you cause trouble for me, then you will find yourself wandering the sands forever. This is a place of peace. This is a place for those with integrity. Should you lack that characteristic, you will find yourself an outlander.
Understood.
Very well. Well, welcome to the city. Certainly it must have been an ordeal for you to get here. Tell me, everyone who comes to my city, the city of the dead, is on a quest of sorts. Everyone who comes here has shattered dreams from their past life, things they're searching for. What is it that you seek here?
to leave.
She begins to chuckle. Yes, as many before you, I'm sure. But leaving is not so easy. If it were, we would have done it long ago. You and I are similar in that way, in fact. We share the same dream, then. How will you go about achieving that dream, do you think?
I suppose it's safe to say that I'm guided by the truth.
How so?
I find that there are many things about this place that are not always as they seem.
That is true. This is a place of reflections. And a land of broken mirrors and shattered dreams. Things are not always as they appear. But also sometimes things are more what they appear as well. Now, in terms of your dream, is this a dream you all share? Or are there other dreams amongst you?
Yeah, we share the same dream.
Well, I like you. I like all of you. Many who come here simply dream of trivial items, a home, family, nothing grand, nothing adventurous. But you all strike me as a different sort of bunch. You dream a little bigger. I like that. As I said, I too share your dream. So, maybe we can achieve that dream together. How does that sound?
I like it.
Good. You know, there are myths here. Even in this place, there's a history older than you can imagine. Events and times before, kings and queens that have existed, nations risen and fallen, stories told over an eon. But one that always remains are of various items that exist within this plane. Now, I've never seen them per se, but our mages and scholars have it on good authority that some of these items might help us achieve our dream. I know you just got here, but again, you seem like the adventurous sort. Perhaps you can retrieve one of these items for me, and we can discern its properties together.
I'm gonna kind of look at the party as almost with a hint of optimistic pride in that if there's one thing that we know how to do and do well, it's be given an adventurous level task list to
And what do you know of this item? What its properties are, or what it looks like, anything like that?
No, not much is known in the way of hard evidence. It is said that this item, well, they call it the Orrery of Dreams. It's said to be a wondrous item that can deliver you what you want the most. And some believe even a way out of this plane, back to the living. It is my hope that by gathering the item that, again, our alchemists, our mages might discern its secrets and create a path home for all of us. That I might deliver my people back to the living.
Everyone in the city?
Yes, well, many of us have been here a long time. I think a second chance is in order.
If I might, what happens if your alchemists and your mages don't discern its secrets? How many will be able to go home then? Your Majesty.
Well, if I'm being honest, I have no idea. I don't even know if it works. Maybe it's 1. Maybe it's 100. Maybe it's the 5 of us. 6, 5 of us. The math. We can't know these things until it's no one that in my court has laid eyes on the object. We've traced it through rumor and story and legend. It exists within a realm here. Well, an adjacent realm, if you will. But we've lacked the individuals with the right qualities to retrieve it, though many have tried.
Eliana will walk over to Flinry and say, and talk to the queen and ask her for more details. And Flinry, could you help me with my bag real quick? It seems to be stuck and I can't get my book up. And she turns Flinry so his back is to the queen, and will take a peek at the sword's reflection while he's helping her unbuckle the book from her hip.
Roll me a perception check.
Oh my god!
Nat 20.
Yeah!
Wow! The queen, Cantressa, as she sits on this throne. Well, let's begin with the king, actually. King Quintal, as you look at him hunched over and decrepit in his throne, in the reflection is a much, much younger man. With black hair, a full beard, a robust stomach, and very fine armor of silver, intricate designs on it. What looks to be a warrior's nature about him. He sits proudly on his throne, with a smile on his face, looking around, very alert, kind of perceiving his domain, if you will. This palace, very energetic, and with a goblet of wine in his hand and looking around, and looks to be having a good time in this reflection, very happy, which is in obviously stark contrast to his very stoic nature now and his old demeanor. The queen, though, as you look, doesn't seem to change at all. Her reflection looks exactly as you see her presented.
Henry just kind of latches forth a book after like an awkward kind of pause. Boy, that was really stuck in there. Here you go.
And Eliana will draw what she sees of the king and, be like holding it up to Flinry and, as she draws it, like.
Flinry turns back and what of your lord husband, my queen? What does he know of this mysterious artifact? My king, if I could be so bold as to ask for your input as well.
The king looks up, kind of breaking his trance with his wide eyes, and slowly turns his head to you. Still hunched over, but kind of like cricking his neck now to look at you. And then slowly turns it back and resumes his previous posture. There's just the smallest moment of recognition as the queen, unfortunately, the king has suffered some hard times as of late. Sand sickness, as it was. In fact, it was searching for this item specifically. He was never one to sit back and allow others to do his bidding. This is, well, I don't know all of the details, but this is how he was returned to me.
Can I see? Is there a way for me to tell if she's lying?
Roll an investigation check.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
20. Holy
Okay.
back to back. No. Oh my god.
in this
librarian truly in her element here, holding court.
Yeah.
in this moment, you get the sense that she's telling the truth about the king and this misfortune that has seemed to befall him with this item that she's asking you to retrieve. You do get kind of the hint that there's more that's being unsaid.
Okay.
You know, about how this all came to be. Like, you know, obviously not all the details are there, but it seems to be truthful that you know, that this mishap has befallen him, you know, in search of this item. Well, I'm sure you're all weary from your travels, and if you agree to this quest, then I'd be happy to offer you a bit of rest before your departure. What say you?
That would be lovely.
Terrific. And it's settled. As she claps her hands, and some servants kind of lead you out of the throne room, and she sits back in her chair, just kind of, again, taking in the room, and they lead you to an area that's a chambers in nature, and one of the servants just mentions to you that when you're ready to go, just ring this bell, as there's a bell attached to the door inside of this chamber. After you've rested, there's food in the room on the table already prepared. There are beds to sleep in. It's kind of a very large chamber. A fire in the hearth. Seems like a very normal room for a palace. Very comfortable, you know, and again, in contrast to everything you've kind of been through. So you all are welcome to rest here for the night, or for a few moments, whatever you want. The space is kind of yours to rest, or you can jump right in there as you see fit. I'll leave that up to you.
Eliana would like to take a full sleep, a full rest.
As with Saris.
Smart.
It's been a long day.
Flinry has, in realizing kind of throughout this process, he's been here a long time, and due to the nature of this world, has had no, at least not a biological need to eat or, anything like that. Is beyond existing. There's no real so he kind of is seeing this bit of food and is almost confused by it, because it's he's been in the waste for however many years and just hasn't eaten because he doesn't need to, and I guess hesitantly kind of reaches for either a piece of fruit or meat or something, and holds it as though it's he doesn't know what to do with it, and I guess he'll kind of smell it, and as if remembering that you're supposed to eat food, he'll just take a bite of whatever it is.
Yeah, and as you bite into this fruit, it's sweet. Maybe the best thing you've ever tasted. Although you might be biased at this point, having not eaten in a long time, but it's very, very good, very fresh. And you're right, you haven't had to eat, but you discover in this moment that you can taste. And the food here is very good, well prepared. Anything you were to eat would taste excellent.
I guess when we maybe kind of sits down at what I think is probably a long table for so many people. If it's really a palace, it's probably got a lot of food on it. He's just gonna maybe just sit and enjoy a meal.
Yeah,
picking from the various different pieces of food on the table and kind of just take what might be the first moment of respite he's done in 100 years, or however many years it's been, however long it's been. I don't know, many years.
Yeah. Sit down in this place. As the night passes, does anybody want to do anything else during this resting time?
Yes.
Go for it.
I'd like to go and talk to Eliana real quick. And I know I've scared you, but there's nothing to fear. I promise. Ask Flinry. It's just a thing that we go through.
Oh, God. Mm-hmm.
I would like for you to make a note, though. Sand
Okay.
sickness and time. If we look at our boy Flinry over there, seems completely fine, doesn't he? Even when we first met him.
Mm-hmm.
So why does everybody seem to talk about this sand sickness? He's been here for centuries, if not eons, and yet he's absolutely fine. And you ask the god a couple of questions, and he assumes sand sickness, and that also took the king. I think it might be something worth noting.
And Eliana will show him what she saw in the sword of the king.
Very robust belly on that man.
He is, as some would call, a big boy. Yes. But that
I believe the word is rotund.
Rotund.
yes.
I prefer robust.
Robust is nice. Rotund is like, oh, like Kirby.
And I'll take note of the picture, and he'll be like, it would seem quite odd for him to be returned in the state that he's in, given the prowess that he appeared to have had.
I don't think the queen is lying, but there's definitely more she's not telling us, and I'm a little bit worried that we might run into a lot of trouble for this, and we just met them.
You and me both. Hope you're ready for some more adventures. And my eyes will like flash yellow.
She goes, oh God. She clutches the book to her chest.
I'll pat her on the back like you'll be all right.
Are they within earshot of me? Are you guys within earshot of me?
Oh, we're not trying to like be quiet or anything. So
Sure.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, I would have easily been able to eavesdrop while eating on your.
Sure.
hours.
Yeah.
Okay.
If you're not chomping too hard, you know.
I'm gonna get up from the table and kind of like wipe my mouth off. Come over and just to you two, and what about that one? I'll look over at Saris.
Saris was actually sitting at the table at the other end.
Okay.
Eating. So like you were at one table, you're like eating and chomping, and she was just eating delicately and watching you.
Perfect. Excellent. That makes
And
it so much better.
And she remains sitting there as you do this.
Okay. All right. And I don't necessarily like. Obviously, if she's sitting there in the room, like it's not like she's not going to see me doing this. But I think it's safe to say that she's not surprised that Flinry doesn't exactly trust her implicitly yet. So, so yeah, I'll look at and you know what are we gonna do about her?
I mean,
Well, she's been here before, hasn't she? Quite friendly with the queen.
Yeah.
Definitely left that out of our initial talks, didn't she?
She did.
it was an accident. I don't
know. They were very chummy in there. Oh, since you graced our halls, did you? You know, it's like, come on.
Just continuing to eat and not a care in the world right now.
We will see.
Do you think that she knows what the queen's not telling us? Maybe I whisper that a little bit more down low so that it's not quite an accusation. But
maybe, but when I asked her if she knew about this realm and who created it, she had no idea. I think she may have a lot of questions that we have, but that...
why was she being attacked?
That's a good question.
Well, they were dicks, weren't they?
Yes, but
That's fair.
yeah. Was it too nice to put them out in their sleep? Should I wake them up next time?
I thought you did
Well-
beautifully, really.
I'll turn to look at Finley like, are you sure, buddy?
Well, I think that comment maybe comes more from like a, he can sense Eliana's like not quite discomfort, but like a fear of embellishment in combat, and just kind of wants to kind of create a safe space for Eliana. If you want to cut their throats in their sleep, you do it, and like it's not even, no one here is gonna think less of you for that. Maybe Toddleheim, but he's a wolf, so it doesn't really. A lot of people are afraid of him for no reason,
Maybe not so enthusiastic next time. he sips his drink.
That's fair.
There's 2 more left. Jesus.
I love that that's what stuck with him the most, not the killing in the sleep, just the excitement.
The level of enthusiasm is just like, wow.
Oh my god.
Okay. Well, I guess it's smart for us to see if she'll come along. Although it sounds like the queen assumed that was going to happen anyway.
Yeah.
Yes, I would agree.
Mm-hmm.
You, glowing one. Do you
Other
intend
glowing
to
one.
accompany us on this quest?
I do intend to. Yes.
To what end?
Well, I wish to get out of here as well. So I have just as much of a stake in finding this item as the rest of you.
And how much stake does the queen have in you? She seemed to treat your relationship with a different level of weight than you initially let on for us.
The queen happens to just be very nice to her people, including myself. I've taken care of various outlanders for her, so I have good standing.
Outlanders being the folks who were attacking you when we found you.
Indeed.
Flannery wants to see if there's any reason to doubt this explanation of the queen and her relationship.
You can roll an insight, and she can roll a deception if she's deceiving, or if she's hiding any things.
Am I? No, I feel I'm being
pretty
quite
thick.
truthful in this moment.
That's
So
27 insight.
Yeah.
Okay.
no, I'm I'm
Okay.
not trying to do any deceiving.
Okay.
In my mind, this is the truth.
Mm.
Is that true? Don't make me get this sword out. No, I think Flannery at that point kind of just, whether he likes it or not, this is happening, and there's not really a reason to try to fight it anymore. It's just, well, Toddleheim, looks like our adventures are about to continue, old friend.
Just like old times, eh? Flash. I'll do the eye flash again. Some of the teeth as well.
Flannery will just kind of just like look a little cheekily at him. Yes.
DM, would I know anything about would I know anything about compressing sand into like glass or something?
In a general sense?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I would think that's, it's fairly common knowledge that, heating sand, creates glass.
Would I be able to do that with anything in the room currently?
There's not really sand like there was in the desert here.
No, but I have sand.
Oh, you have sand. Oh, yeah. If you have a significant heat source, you could probably make some molten sand.
giant fireplace that was just described. I don't know if that
Okay.
counts as our.
I'll take like a little cup or something, like a stone cup or something, and like
Sure.
I would like to heat up the sand remains of their friend, and I would like to pour them 2 little I guess glass gems so that they can carry their friend around as a remembrance stone.
Sure. Yeah. Roll me a ooh. This is I don't even know right now. Give me a second. This is cool. Do you have any proficiency with tools or anything else that
Where would I? Let me see.
would be under? Ooh, let me just take a peek for you here. If I can. Where I would think that you have some.
It says currently says none on my
Okay.
thing, but yeah.
I've got mason's tools, and I am a dwarf, so I could probably help. If you let me know the situation.
I think with your
Yeah.
I think with your book knowledge,
Mhm.
you know, having being well versed in different things, that you might understand the core practice of heating up sand and just making glass. So roll me a D20, just a straight D20.
Ooh.
Okay. With a 9. Yeah, you heat this. You're able to heat this sand up, and there are a number of different vessels or shaped things. What kind of shape are you looking to make out of this? Just like a chunk, like a gem, or are you trying to shape it into something?
An oval.
Into an oval.
Mhm.
Yeah, with a 9, you're able to cast this into as you heat it and cast it into an oval, oval-esque shape. You know, with a 9, it's a little rough around the edges. Definitely not like flat and smooth or anything, but you do notice that it is very shiny, very reflective, and it's not quite what you saw of the soul gems being traded, but it's very similar in nature. As it kind of cools, it's a similar color, not quite as bright or as prominent as those gems, but it's an echo of something of that nature, reminiscent of it, that you're able to craft there with a 9.
Are they 2 smaller pieces?
Sure, yeah, you can make them into 2 small pieces.
Okay. And I would like to hand the 2 pieces to Flinry and Toddleheim and say, I know it's not the same as bringing her back, but at least now you can always carry a piece of her with you. And if you ever lose your way, you can look at it and hopefully it'll maybe bring you back to who you really are.
I think Funry is taken a little bit aback by the thoughtfulness of this gesture, and especially for someone who's met so recently. And I think takes it and maybe takes her hand and just thank you for keeping what's left of her safe for so long. And he'll take it and reach into his pouch, and he pulls out kind of a leather strap and kind of creates a little like knot harness for it and ties it around his neck and puts it down, looks and nods and thanks.
I'll look down at the glass, and sort of like tears will start to well in my eyes. And I'll be like, well, I know I haven't always been the most presentable type, most approachable type, but I do truly appreciate this, Eliana. And then I'll put it in my pocket.
I noticed that Flinry's presence helped you when things were happening earlier, and I thought maybe this might help as well.
We can hope. Thank you.
All right. As that night passes on, you all get some sleep and some food. You can take a long rest on your character sheets if you want. That button should be just by your health there. You can take the it's like a little bed icon.
Yes.
You can take the long rest there. She'll heal you all up. As you wake up in the morning, you ring that bell, presumably ready to go on your way. The servants, they approach your chambers and they guide you through kind of a labyrinth of this place, some hallways in different places. Nothing of terrible significance. You don't see the queen this morning. You're just taken to a room with a large iron door. And as the doors are opened for you, it is a very familiar, eerily familiar sight. It is a long hallway with floating mirrors. Not quite the same as in the Grandmaster's Dread Fortress, but a very similar setup as this hallway is lined with floating mirrors. And the servants have been instructed to lead you to a specific mirror. Well, the servant chimes up. Well, this is your stop. The queen has instructed us that this is the realm in which you will be traveling.
Realm trip.
Yeah. Oh, I guess no one informed you. These mirrors, they all lead to a realm. I don't really know what to call it. Not been myself. It's connected to this place, but it's a reflection of the living world. Not quite the living world, but not quite here either. From what I've been told.
You won't happen to try and kill us when we try and take this. The last time I used one of these mirrors, I was brutally murdered.
He looks at you really confused. I don't know what you're talking about. In fact, this is kind of the end of my jurisdiction, as it were. And he kind of bows to you all and makes his exit out of the chambers, closing those large iron doors behind you, leaving you alone in front of this specific mirror.
Before anybody looks at the mirror, I'm going to just take our little motley crew. Okay, hold on. I don't remember a lot about my few moments last time I was in a hall of mirrors like this, but I remember that I'd caused Toddleheim and Lockett some great deal of distress, and they saved me from what would have been an inevitable, horrible, painful experience. And I don't know that you guys also use the mirrors to get here, I don't think. So, I'm only basing this off of my own remembrance of that, but you guys obviously were in a place like this a lot more recently than me, I guess. Oh.
Well, I guess we'll have to wait and see if he comes back and tries to off us. But this may be a hell of a journey.
To my knowledge, it shouldn't have any sort of ramifications like that. But I could be mistaken, but
You think
yes,
again.
Yes. I don't have all of the answers. Okay.
Well, perhaps then you would mind being the first to gaze into the mirror. If you seem more
I like
confident
that.
than the rest of us.
I like that, Flinry.
I think she seems to have a better grip on this reality than we do, and it's clearly not as bothersome to her as it is to the rest of us. So, Ceres, I think...
Fine. I will be the first one to go then. I'll walk up to the mirror, kind of stubbornly.
Ceres, as you look into this mirror, you see your reflection standing in this hall. But slowly that, again, like the portal before, that image in the mirror begins to change, and you now see yourself reflected but standing in a new location. Location filled with snow and ruins, decidedly not green. And in the blink of an eye, you are on the other side of that mirror looking past your reflection to Toddleheim and Flinry and Eliana, who are still standing in that hall. On your end, the three of you, it's a blink of an eye and she's gone. Just disappears.
She's gone.
If you're not looking in the mirror, you wouldn't see her standing, but should you lift your eyes, you would begin seeing her on the other side.
Keeping my eyes notably pointed towards the floor and not the mirror. Just like, Toddleheim, did she just, is she gone?
Yes, she is.
Well, there's no sand on the floor, so she didn't.
She's not dead.
Yeah.
Eliana, do you think we should, go into the mirror?
I mean, there's nothing else we can do. We can't let her go alone.
Yeah, we can. Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, okay.
She's the only one the queen would probably send resources after to retrieve. So.
Well, that's fair. Yeah.
Eliana will look into the mirror.
You too will see your reflection on that other side as it's the blink of the eye, and you've switched locations, looking back at Flinry and Toddleheim, and still your reflection in that room as well, but on this side you are no longer present.
She disappears down.
Yes.
Look at Toddleheim. Okay, so they're both gone.
No, we
They're not
kiss.
dead.
No, just kidding.
Well, I guess no time like the present, I guess. There's no blood everywhere. No screams.
True. Well, together then?
Together.
We look
And
at the
we'll
mirror.
walk up and look at the mirror.
Aw.
All right. With that blink of an eye again, you find yourself in a new location.